Hi Patreons, thank you for your year on the screen.
I can't go any further.
So I'll have to go this way a bit. I'll do it like that. Thanks for your continued support, my lovely patrons. We really appreciate you. Just starting up that stream. Turn that off. Oh, Flemface is in the house, calling me a lad. I love it when she says that. Do check out the Flemface for lovely vegan content. Oh, and Lucy Brock's in the house, our IRL friend. Awesome. God spoken word. Anast Dime. Oh, from Greece. Nice. Super Black Mamba. Chris Bucco. Eileen Lyons. In Barcelona there. I haven't got much in the way of biceps and I'm cutting, so they've shrunk even further. It's terrible. Just doing up for Yeet. Oh, just as Hippie's in the house with his good old wrench. B. Porter, you're very welcome. Suze, Eric. Hi, Danny Shepherd. I know that name. How are you, my friend? Oh, it's Angela from Tyne Cheese. That is our favourite cheese. Two of our friends. So you sent us that, what would you call that? Like a variety pack kind of thing. Like an assortment. And we had a couple of friends over for dinner, non-vegans. And we had those with some crackers. And Gemma made a lovely African lentil and peanut stew. And some lovely brownies. Like some healthy ones, and they're trying the vegan thing for a month. Yeah, they were. My brain's not working terribly well because I'm on a cut. They were inspired, the word I couldn't find. They were inspired to give it a go. So thanks to you and your lovely cheeses. So thanks for that. And if you want to set up any sort of a regular, sort of semi-regular thing where you send us some cheeses and we pick you up, I won't say no because they are the best cheeses. That was a little bit cheeky, wasn't it? Sorry. I'm famous, love. What have you got for me? Nah, I'm just joking, everyone, just in case you thought that was me being like that in real life. Auntie Venom. That's a cool name. Auntie Venom. Morning. Where in the world are you that is morning currently? Peter Burt. Sack is in New Jersey, I'm guessing that is. I'm not too up on my geography, I'll be honest. I know loads of stuff about lifting things up and down with a view to muscular hypertrophy or muscle growth, and a lot of stuff about nutrition, and that's about it, really. I'm clueless about every other topic. Oh, Noble and Savage is in the house. Good to see you. Danny's cutting under Corin Sutton. He is one amazing coach. So a lot of his before and afters on the gram. Maybe not Kenny Loggins. Love you. I love you too, my friend. Swagquan. That's a cool name. In Nepal. Hope everything's going. Can you recommend anything for anyone for calisthenics? Not really my bag. I mean, obviously, Derek Simnet does it, but I don't believe he coaches. I wouldn't really know, to be honest. I'm sorry to say. I wouldn't really know. Melody and the Pussycats in the house. Julia, evening, Hench. Hope you had a good day. I had a lovely day. We went to the park with this one. Got some sun, fed some ducks and geese and a swan, I think. No, the swan wasn't interested. Do you know, I think, like, we took oats for the birds because we thought they'd not need to be eating processed. Like, everyone gives them bread, don't they? Particularly white bread, which is low in nutrients. So we brought oats, but they weren't really that interested. I think they're so used to eating bread now that oats seemed like a low value, sort of lot of effort for little reward sort of food for them. Am I getting miles behind? If I miss out your comment or question, just throw it in the chat again. I'm going to try and keep fairly up to date with everything. It's going quick. It's pretty quickly. There's so many people come in the room. I can't keep up with the chat. Claire G. Hi, Hench from Spain. Maybe this is a really stupid question as I'm only newish to your channel, but have you done any outreach before or any sort of talks? I've done talks, but mostly sort of at vegan festivals. I've not really... I did one talk which was not at a vegan festival. It was a Compassion in World Farming Day. So that was a bit more out of my comfort zone. So I've done like outreach, like street. But what I've really realised is the best use of me is video. I can reach more people. So that's why I've kind of stopped doing it, really. Thank you for saying I'd be amazing. No, there was a couple of videos where I did street like activism and was pretty good at talking people around, particularly on the health aspect. But yeah, I just figured like it's better to make a bespoke, you know, like video, like a proper sort of video rather than, you know, I thought about uploading speeches to video, but no one wants to watch them. It's the wrong format. Yeah. Priya's in the house. Hello, hun. How are you? Nice to have you. Bohemian. I had someone say feed birds cornflakes. Yeah, so they're toasted, aren't they? So, you know, it's not going to be a natural food. So, what you can get like mixes to feed birds, can't you? And I think there's like seeds and like grains.
Yeah, I think so.
Stuff as it comes in nature. Yeah, I don't really know about the whole cornflakes thing. I suppose you'd say like it's been toasted, so it's going to create acrylamides, which are not helpful, but who knows? Oh, $2 on the super chat. That's very kind. Jerry's Rafidi. Hi from Texas. How to start strength training. I am actually a physique coach, so I'm not really great on the old strength training. So I would say probably to get a strength coach in the beginning just to check form and, you know. As for programming, like, you know, you can get, there's loads of different programs that you can get on the internet for free. So I'd say find like a sort of popular one. And but make sure you're in good form and whatnot, you know. So you really need a little bit of coaching in the beginning is what I will say. And yeah, I'm not the person for that, you know. Kind of physique and strength are, although you're lifting weights, it's kind of two different things really. Like a bodybuilder will actually make it harder for themselves to in the bench press to try and like target the chest, whereas a powerlifter's using kind of that whole body and making a big arch, so the wider grip so the bar's not got so far to go. It's kind of not like opposites, but they're not. There's not all that much carryover really, in that sort of a way. Higo Vatch, what's your thoughts on vegetarians? Probably like. Most of them are just a bit ill-informed, I should imagine. So most people are probably doing that for ethical reasons, because like from a nutrition point of view, from a health point of view, if you would never be in this situation, but if you were to give up one, I would probably give up dairy before I gave up meat, just because it's so high in saturates and, you know, obviously don't eat it, neither are good for you. So, yeah, I just wonder if they're lacking a bit of knowledge about what happens to chicks, you know, male chicks in the egg industry, what happens to calves when we want to be having the milk that was destined for them. That's what I really think. DK Donkey Con, $2 on the super chat. Thank you. Do you think you could beat vegan gains in a fight? Anyone could beat anyone in a fight. You just need to get the most violent, the quickest. I've seen a lot of crazy things working the doors. I would just not seek to be in that position anymore, to be honest. I really wouldn't. I feel like I've hung my gloves up. if it was me or someone else, you know, if it was me or them, like it was forced on me, well, it'll be them that goes down, because I'm no one's punching bag. But I hope never to be in that position anymore. Really tried to put that behind me, you know. I used to live in that really negative world. I just figured, I went vegan. And I thought, I don't want to harm a chicken that I've never met, so why do I want to punch a guy in the face just because he's like glaring at me or something? You know, if someone's giving you a hard time, trying to make you suffer, you know, it's because they are suffering. And like, do you need to add to it? Can you just step back for your ego? I spoke in my last vlog about just giving out positive energy, and I'm going to stick more to my word and be like that going forwards. Yeah, you know, with the trolls thing, with these like response videos, I started to give it to the trolls a little bit in the comments to just get more comments to then punt out the video to more people, because the algorithm favours that. But no, I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to give out positivity. Imagine like all the times you've been negative to like a meat eater when they've been a bit rude. But if you'd have given out love and just given out like facts and said like, oh, maybe you don't do this today, but just a bit of food for thought. Like maybe they'll research it. Maybe you tell them like a documentary and maybe they watch it because, you know, you didn't bite their head off or whatever. It's not going to happen all the time, but maybe if it's 1 in 100, well, if you've been negative to like 1,000 people, you know, there's like 100 people who, you know, you might have planted a seed in there, you know. Yeah, no more negativity from me. Thank you, Tracy. They see us in Houston. William Watson, there's another San Antonian here. We need to turn Texas green, yeah. What is this? Is there like any sort of a foothold of veganism now? I see that as very, again, my geography is not great, but I see that as very sort of meat-centric, that kind of area. I know you've got Fully Raw Christina out there, haven't you? Our friend Ellen went to Texas. I think she said that she did all right, like food-wise. Cool. Yeah, restaurants and whatnot. I think they did accommodate her fairly well. That's good. Austin is quite progressive. Thank you, Lewis. Tracy, I wish I could stay, but we just arrived at the gym. Wait to be on a live stream for a few minutes. Have a great workout, hun. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Flemface is saying likewise. Texas is quite vegan friendly. Hi, is that Annie? I'm not reading that very well. Anyway, hi yourself, however I pronounce that name. Ask Yourselves Father. Have you ever been on Ask Yourselves server? Is that, what do you call that? Discord? Are you saying I've never actually used Discord? Oh, Race Lever's in the house. Nice. I always forget, you lovely moderators. I mean to thank you guys at the end, and I always forget. So I'm thanking you now. Thanks for your lovely help all the time. I really appreciate it. Lucia, what are the positives and negatives of being a personal trainer, and do you prefer YouTube more? Yeah, I definitely prefer YouTube more now. It just got to the stage where I was doing all the PT, and I'm thinking about what video I want to make. And so I think the real positive, or the sort of negative of PT is, you know, I did it for a few years, but I found I'm quite a creative soul, so I quite enjoy, you know, doing the videos and whatnot. And so that bit is missing. It ticked a lot of my boxes, PT. You know, you're being of service, you're helping people, you're quite significant to them. So you get a feeling of like job satisfaction, and it's lovely to see people progress. Like, you know, what else to say? help me to say some things because my
It met
brain's
a lot of your
stupid.
needs, but YouTube meets all your needs.
YouTube meets all my
Emotional
needs, like,
needs.
yeah. So I still see one or two of my clients that I've had for years because, you know, they supported me back in the day and, well, they're friends. It's kind of a bit of my sort of social time in a way, although we're still getting them results, obviously. But, yeah, that's the main thing, really. I loved everything about PT and I thought I'd always be a PT. But just, you can make more of a difference in the world with video and it just felt like a better use of me. And, you know, I feel bad for all the animals that I was complicit in having killed. And so the more people I turn vegan, the more I offset the damage and hopefully save more animals than I was responsible for hurting, you know. That's the dream anyway. But it's quite a lucrative job, personal training. Obviously, with social media, like the sky's the limit in terms of earnings, and you know you get a lot of money for little work, or you know you can get like passive income streams and things like that. So depending on the size of your audience, you know it can be exponentially more lucrative doing social media, but as far as like standard jobs, you know, I was a doorman and, you know, different sort of jobs like that. But as a PT, like that was, you know, that was a pretty good earner per hour. Donkey Kong, $2 on the super chat. Think you could beat the real Donkey Kong in a fight? That would be difficult, wouldn't it? Because he'd be so damn strong. How many barrels has he got up the top of that tower there? I'm not very good at jumping because I've got quite a lot of strength, but I'm quite heavy. So I think I'd probably fall over the first barrel and then he just sort of smash me. Yeah, I think I'd lose. I'm sorry to say. Maisley, you're welcome. Thanks for showing me how big my biceps are compared to your needle arms. I'm here to please. Sue, is it hard to go totally vegan? For some people, they say it is. I found it really easy because I was so sick of eating so many animal products. So the nutrition bit was easy. Then obviously, like, I went vegan for health, you know, first, but then I found out about the ethics. Obviously, stopped buying like leather and wool. If you eat junk food, then it can be a bit of a minefield because you then got to look through the ingredients of everything. But if you're eating whole foods, like the foods are the ingredients, so it's easy from that aspect.
It's easier than it has ever been at any point in history.
Gemma brings up a good point. It's never been easier. And one of my mates has been vegan for over 60 years, so if he could do it 60 years ago, like we really don't have an excuse. It was something vegans often say, and like, I don't really like to say this and like you're sort of shaming people, but there is some sort of truth to it in this that, oh my bloody diet brain, this is so hard. Give me a second. It's hard if you think that you're the victim and you're suffering. And so it's hard if you think about yourself. If you think about the animals, then it's easy. You know, if we really saw what animals go through, if we, you know, if you had a little hint that, like, if you don't change, like, maybe in the next life you have to go through that, or that's what hell is, and you have to, like, go through that to learn compassion, maybe for the next life, if you believe in, like, afterlives and things like that, and spirituality. I'm not saying that I do or don't. I'll leave that open to interpretation. But, you know, if we thought for a second we'd have to go through that, like, we wouldn't be doing it to others, would we? You know, so there's that. So many ways you can go with that, isn't there? I'm going to leave it there, though, because I'll be a million miles behind in the chat. But that's a really good question. Is that something you... Oh, was that Sue who asked that? How do I come off comfort chocolate? Yeah, see, so if you're eating the junkier foods, like... I mean, you can get these all vegan now, though, is the good thing. You can get vegan chocolate. It's probably... It's a bit healthier than the dairy-based, but it's still very unhealthy. Cocoa beans, palm oil and coconut oil are 3 vegan sources of fats which will raise your serum LDL and give you heart disease, the same as animal products. There's only 3, and chocolate, you know, the chocolate bean is one of them. Too many long chain triglycerides. So, but you can get vegan versions. Some of the foods now are indistinguishable. For cheeses, I like Tyne cheese. You know, for chocolates, we've got Buja Buja, which is some local boys just down the road from where I live. They were like chocolate of the year ice cream of the year. Do they do chocolate? They do chocolates and ice creams, don't they?
Yes.
So were they chocolate or ice cream of the year? No, that was chocolate of the year, wasn't it? Who knows? You can get chocolate, you can get ice cream, you can get burgers. You can get burgers sort of reverse engineered from plants to have heme iron, which raises your risk for cancer, heart disease, diabetes, the same as animal products do, animal like heme iron. So
it's like vegan products where there's been like a blind taste test and people can't taste the difference.
They can't taste the difference.
Yeah.
Vegan chocolate is harmful if consumed too much. Any of it is harmful. You know, it's going to have sugar, number one, but it's also got long chain triglycerides. If we keep our serum LDL to 57 milligrams per deciliter or lower, the science suggests, and it's pretty conclusive at this point, that we're heart attack proof, we're heart disease proof. We'll never get coronary heart disease. To get it that low, you're basically not eating animal products. You're not eating cocoa beans like chocolate, coconut oil, palm oil. So that's in processed vegan product pastries and things. You know, you don't even want to eat a lot of fats. Like peanuts are really high in saturates. But is it the long chain though? But anyway, the point is that the doctors reversing heart disease, Caldwell Esselstyn, Dean Ornish, they say no more than about 11% of your calories from fats. And these are the only people clinically proven to reverse heart disease, like nutrition alone. So they, you know, Caldwell Esselstyn will say no oil, like olive oil, canola oil, what do we call it? Rapeseed oil. They'll say like point blank, don't eat it. Like you can't have it. But if you like chocolate, cocoa powder, because they take out a lot of the saturates, particularly the long chain triglycerides. So you can make chocolate desserts and like milkshakes and things.
Oh, blend up dates, walnuts and cocoa powder in a blender, make it into like little balls. Oh, little chocolate balls.
Chocolate balls.
Yeah, I think we answered. I just read back what she said. She said, "How do I come off of comfort chocolate?" And we're telling her you can get loads of chocolate.
Oh, have I read that wrong? I thought that she wasn't vegan yet, so.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Mike James, I saw that. Yeah, and so in terms of coming off junk foods, you need to eat enough food that you're not getting hungry. And the beauty of whole foods is it's very hard to eat too much, particularly if you're smashing in like your veggies and things. So fill yourself up. Don't let yourself get hungry. Eat the healthy foods, legumes, whole grains, fruit, vegetables, little nuts and seeds, herbs and spices. Make your food flavorful. Don't let yourself get hungry. If you can stick to that for about 3 weeks, you've nailed it. You've nailed it, and you won't go back unless you're silly enough to think, oh, I'm going to have a cheat meal or a cheat day. And then you start eating this hyper palatable food, high in sugar, high in fat. And then you eat your kale and think this tastes really bitter and disgusting. And you just fall off the wagon, you know. Don't do it to yourself. I'm currently listening to a book. Gemma read it years ago, and she in fact met the authors. The Pleasure Trap, Doug Lisle and Alan Goldhammer. And it just says how our physiology is set up to make us fail. You know, we evolved our physiology in a time of scarcity. If you tasted something highly palatable, well, that would have been like a bush full of blueberries. And there's nothing wrong with smashing in like tons of blueberries, you know. But now, like, if you taste something hyper palatable, it's donuts, it's, you know, crisps or potato chips for you American viewers. You know, it's soda, you know, fizzy drinks. So if you avoid that stuff, people say to me that I'm really like strict. What's the word? Like good willpower. And the thing is that I don't make it hard for myself. I know not to eat these other things, and so I'm never tempted. And so I enjoy my whole food. It's really delicious to me. And I know if I eat junk, I'm going to feel like junk, number one, because the longer you eat the whole foods, the better you feel. And you can just fall off the wagon so easily, and then you're eating. In the book, they talk about a submarine, and you're deep under the sea, and there's a lot of pressure on the outer shell, like the integrity of the shell there. And if you get a little crack in your armour, the water's going to come smashing in. And so, just keep strong. Just eat the foods that we were born to eat, that real food that was around, not these. Oh, there's so many tens of thousands of products, food-like products in packages now that just was not around when we were evolving. It's really since the turn of the century. Like, it's bad. It's bad. Just stay off it. Then that's telling you. It's only because I care about you. Right. Kid Curry, if I join your movement, do I have to do the activism as well? I invite you to be your own authority on what you do and don't do. You just do you. Do what you want. But hopefully, not at the expense of someone else's life. A lot of trolls will say to me, "Oh, you're telling people like what to eat, like, don't do that's wrong." And I tell them like, yeah. So it sounds to me like you're saying live and let live. And I say, look, I agree with that wholeheartedly. The only difference is I don't just say live and let live to the species that look like me or the ones that I enjoy stroking and petting. I extend that to all other species, is because they feel fear and pain. They want love. They scream under the knife. They run from violence. Like there's no difference in the ability to suffer. There's not. That was a bit deep. Let's lighten the mood. God's spoken word. Thank you kindly. That's really nice of you to say so. In the beginning, I was pretty damn judgmental because I didn't know better, and I just saw what these animals are going through, and I thought my friends, my family are good people. If I just tell them. But no, people have to come to it for themselves. And, yeah. But I can't judge, I eat more animals than anyone. So you really can't judge. It is hard, isn't it? It is hard. Lucia, it's good to have biodiversity in your food choice. It's good to have a diverse range of plant foods because the healthy gut microbes, the Prevotella strains, eat soluble fibre and resistant starch from insoluble fibre. So the more different plant foods you eat, the better the health of your gut microbiome, because you've got more different microbes, and they all do different jobs, and they're all health promoting. And Lucia again, do you drink alcohol? No, like it raises your risk for several cancers. Obviously it damages the liver, things like that. But really important to me, like as I just alluded to, the gut microbiome is so pivotal. It's the cornerstone of good health, physical and mental. And alcohol kills Prevotella bacteria and feeds the pathogenic strains of bacteria. So that's not good.
Sorry.
Mike James, do you like nectarines? I love them. Been eating them recently, so they're one of the best fruits in my view. Yeah, let's get some nectarines up in here.
We got some.
Oh, god damn. Yeah. I'm not going to say that name. What was your worst experience weight training? I've not had like a terrible injury that I can remember.
How about when your bicep pinged off?
That was boxing.
Oh, yeah.
I tore my biceps off punching someone. If that's not instant karma, I don't know what is. I had a bit of a fright. This was back in the day when I was a bit bonkers. And I used to have a real temper and be a bit mad. And I had no one good to spot me, just like a sort of scrawny little sort of lad. And I had 130 kilos on the bar. And I sort of snatched it out of the rack. And my wrists, like I had it bad and my wrists gave. And I had to throw it like back in the rack. And, you know, that possibly would have killed me or like crushed my neck or, you know, smashed. That would have been a very painful injury, possibly like fatal. And I was scared for the first time in my life. Well, the only time in my life, like before and since, I was actually scared to get under the weight. And like I say, I was a bit mad back in those days. And I used to do this thing when I was a doorman. If I got in a fight with someone, particularly if I instigated it, the first thing I'd do was punch myself in the cheekbone and get a huge like welt come up. And then when the police say, oh, that guy reckons you started a fight, and I'll say, well, no, he hit me first. And then they tend to just throw it out because they can't be bothered like to investigate like it's him versus him sort of thing. And for some reason, I messed up with this weight, threw it back in the stand. I was terrified. The only thing I could do to get myself under the bar again, there was this guy who worked in the gym and he was a gobby, annoying person. I really didn't like him. And I imagined that he punched me, and I punched myself in the face. I pretended he did it. And, oh, that was the point. And he was spotting me as well. He was a bit bigger and he was spotting me. And I just went bang. And he said, oh, bloody hell, I wouldn't like you to hit me if you could do that to yourself. And I thought to myself, oh, good job you don't know that I was imagining not I was fighting you when I did it then. And I got the bar and I was so strong. I really smashed out a load of reps because my adrenaline was up. And I was imagining that, obviously I'm not like this now, but I was imagining I was sort of smashing the bar into his face or whatever. And am I sharing too much? Obviously I'm the total opposite of that now because I've gone vegan and friendly. I'd rather just hug everyone these days. But there you go. That was a true story.
You have certainly changed.
I've changed rather a lot. Would you say I've changed more than words can say?
For sure.
For sure. Yeah. Lucia, what did your partner do to effectively heal her candida?
Well, I swapped from eating a high-fat diet to a low-fat diet. Some doctor told me to eat high-fat. It was ridiculous.
We spent so much money seeing this specialist in London, like travelling there.
I took loads of fungals and whatever you call them for a long time, but I was on a high-fat diet, so...
What is candida? Yeast? Oh,
yeah.
so antifungal, yeah, that'd be right.
But then I went onto a high-carb, low-fat diet and just felt better within like a week than I had done in bloody a year or something, so that was the main thing, really.
High carb, low fat, whole foods, plant-based. Boom. I'm glad you guys are sticking up for me and you realise I have changed. I didn't like to talk about that, really. That's all a bit weird. Right. Kid curry. I don't know if it's different where you are. In our country, we say vegetarian means someone who eats like cheese and eggs, dairy products and eggs. But vegan means like completely plant-based. And I've been vegan for, I keep saying 8 years. I actually realised I made a mistake. And it's more like 7.5 years. I think 7.5. Doubled the strength of my eyesight. I'm in the Daily Mail an article talking about that. No more tendonitis. Like I say, I picked my muscle off the bone. You can see where they had to reattach it. Can you see anything that side? No. What else happened? Cured my hay fever. Yeah, it's real powerful. Oh, my blood pressure went from over 140 down to 107 systolic, which they say below 110, no further benefit. So that's like about as healthy as that can be. Gary, glad you worked through your anger. Thank you. You are very kind. I'm glad too. I was dumb. Well, a lot of us are when we're younger, I suppose. Compassion rules. Well said, French Blue. Mike James can see your arm. That's as much as she's allowed to show. This keeps jumping. Lewis Gado, I'm happy to say The Game Changers is out September the 16th. It's cinemas first, so I think that's probably just in America initially. Is that what he said? It's going to be shown in 1,000 cinemas outside of the US, though, is what he told me.
Is it okay for you to say that?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Okay.
I would have thought so. Just in case I wasn't meant to say that, forget I said it.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. I won't tell nobody else, just 128 people. Splendid Caribou brings up a good point. I'm great. Thank you. Oh, James Green's in the house. I can confirm you are now a lovely human. Thank you, James. I appreciate you saying that. And sorry that I got that thing wrong about collagen and the fact that it's a peptide that can be absorbed through the small intestine. RJ Truth, how and when did you go vegan? 7.5 years ago. I saw this one's health flourish. I saw all the data on food and longevity and the diseases of affluence, and I thought, wow, I was eating more animal products than anyone I ever met, and I thought I'm going to kill myself in a minute if I don't sort of change my ways. Bit scared because of the bodybuilding thing, but actually it only boosted my training, so that was good. Apple Dude, is vegan a passing trend? No, it's growing month on month, and I'm convinced that we're going to see a vegan, not a vegan world, because you'll still get some people, you know, sort of being... I think that it'll be pretty soon looked down upon because, like, you know, with the advent of meats that are the same, but no animal had to suffer, like, you know, well, maybe there was a bit of suffering in the beginning, but you know, you got like Impossible Burger, the burger's like reverse engineered from plants. People can't tell the difference. So I think Kip Anderson said within the next 20 years, anyone's still eating animals when you can get the same thing where an animal didn't have to be hurt. You know, they're going to be really looked down on, you know. I don't know how right this is, and perhaps someone can tell me, but here in like India, like a butcher's shop will be tucked away up a corner somewhere, and it's just, you know, just kind of looked down on, like, you know. I think it's unstoppable. I don't know how long it will take, but I do believe there'll be a vastly vegan majority, and, you know, it's the answer to health, it's the answer to climate change, it's the answer to, what am I saying? Basically, no one in their right mind wants to harm an animal unless they have to. And once, you know, all the facts are out there now, you know, you've got loads of YouTube channels, you've got documentaries, you know, the truth is out there. And once people realise for themselves that we don't have to hurt animals in order to, not only to live, but actually will thrive better by not putting loads of saturates, trans fats, cholesterol in our bodies, leading cause of death in humans. It's a foregone conclusion. It just takes a little while for everyone to kind of catch up, I think. I'm convinced. I will, I bet my life on it. Oh, some people are being lovely. Vegan Tiff, $4.99 on the super chat, and Apple Jar, $5. Why is there an A in front? What does that mean?
No.
I don't know what that means, but $5 anyway on the super. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you helping support my work. Vegan Tiff, what is your suggestion for carb intake macros for a male on a cut cycle? 30-year-old, £180 for a reference point. Just basically, I go about 15% of calories from fat. And then I go, this is a bit of a long-winded answer, so you might want to write this down. So 50% of calories from fat. Protein, I aim for 2 grams per kilo of body weight. And the rest as carbohydrate. Have you got that? Comment again if you didn't get that all, and I'll repeat it. But it ends up about sort of 65% carbs generally. That's what I'm doing, and I'm dropping weight like no one's business. Just keeping my strength up, feel amazing. It's the best way to do it by far. Do you tell me if you want me to repeat any of that? And thanks for the super chat. Applejar, hey Hench, thoughts on everyone saying cholesterol good for muscle building? What? I've not heard anyone say that cholesterol is good for muscle building. You are in Australia. Also, come to Australia. I would love to come to Australia. I want to be somewhere hot. Thanks, Tiff. I want to be somewhere hot, but I want it to be English speaking because I'm too lazy to learn another language. So Australia is big on the bucket list, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to. So, where are we? Thoughts on that? Everyone's saying cholesterol is good for muscle building. Cholesterol, you know, is, well, it makes up cell walls, but we make as much cholesterol as we need from acetyl coenzyme A, which is like a compound that we produce. So I've not heard anyone say that. Whereabouts are you citing that for? You're saying a lot of people seem to be saying it. I don't really listen to any like non-vegan sources, so maybe a lot of people are saying it, I don't know. But I can't see why that would be a thing. And yeah, cholesterol for muscle building. I know what you're probably saying, because cholesterol is a base substrate for steroid hormones. So the thought is, if we've not got enough cholesterol, we won't make enough testosterone. But again, we need very little. Like, hormones are tiny. As long as you're eating some fats, we basically make, you know, we make cholesterol from healthful fats. So that's that. We're having so many super chats, I'm struggling to keep up. Sorry, I'll try and get everyone in. Denkono, $5 US, I'm guessing, on the super chat. Thank you. On a whole food, high grain diet, but facing constipation, should I up raw non-grain fibre? And then something on magic mushrooms. I'll answer that first. I think, you know, as long as your brain's fully developed and you know what you're doing, I think they're probably a good learning tool. So I sort of wouldn't be against their use in the right setting as a way to grow like consciousness. But you know, I don't think there's something to be abused. So I would avoid that sort of party, use them in a recreational way. High grain diet, facing constipation, should I up raw non-grain fibre? So yeah, I'd put in lots of soluble fibre. So yeah, like juicy, like maybe like your fluids are low, so up your fluids. But yeah, like watery fruits and veggies are going to really help. They're going to have the good fibre, you know, the soluble fibre. But they'll give you more water as well. But it can be a symptom of like IBS. Can be that you've got an infection in the gut. You've got SIBO. You've got just supposedly Goji Man, and he's a real bit of an expert on this. I really looked at him. Goji Man says that like 84% possibly of IBS is SIBO driven. So maybe you need to heal the gut, like run tests to see what is actually the cause of that and treat that. But definitely up your watery foods. Really simple to do a SIBO test. I've got one here. So I did one a while ago. Found out I had hydrogen dominant SIBO. Did a course of natural antimicrobials. I think I'm better. I may have even reversed my gluten problem from doing it, and I've had that years. I didn't think that was reversible. But I'm now going to do another test just to, get the data and just to see for myself that that is indeed what's happening. I'm sure it has though. Like, I was in a bad way. Acid reflux, lots of cramping. I was having to take meds all the time to keep that under control. Yeah. Oh, and in terms of mushrooms, Denkono as well. Mushrooms have a particular type of fibre called beta-glucan, which is really good for us. So get some mushrooms in you as well, but not those ones in a party way. Joy Kamaka 20 something. You'll have to tell me what that is because I really don't know. Oh, you're not even saying anything. You're just being lovely. Later on there's a question.
He forgot to say it.
Hold up.
In there.
Right, where is it?
The question is, how much soy, if taken as soy curd/milk, is healthy?
How much soy? Soy curds?
If taken as soy curd.
Curls?
Curd/milk?
I've not heard of soy curd before. Do you mean tofu? I'm guessing you mean tofu. So apparently the only real problem with soy is that it can raise our insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1. And so the science was sort of 1 to 3 servings of like whole soy. I guess milk is fine as well because that's not like super concentrated. Is okay. 4 to 6. We work with no real data. 7 or more is really known to raise IGF-1. So it's nothing to do with estrogen. It actually acts as an estrogen blocker by blocking the receptors. It says, not a xenoestrogen, phytoestrogen. So it's about 1/10,000th. It's about 1/10,000th of an effect of mammalian estrogen, but it blocks mammalian estrogen from docking to the receptor. And in fact, it does stimulate different receptors that do good things. So in some tissues it prevents cancer, but on bone it actually protects the bones. So there is actually some benefit to it as well. Yeah. What else was that? There's a lot to talk about with soy. What, have I missed anything? Oh, so tofu. The real like bad data where it's shown to be really harmful to what was it, like cancer promoting? Anyway, the dairy industry funded a study with rodents. I think they were rats, might have been mice. I think they were rats, and they just gave them soy isolate, so just pure soy protein, like 100% protein, and that was all they were eating. They were just mega dosing them. And that was causing, was it cancer? It was cancer, I think. But again, like, that's not natural. It's a bit like saying fruit is unhealthy, sugar comes from fruit, megadosing someone with sugar, and then saying like fruit's bad. You see what I mean? So that's what they did there. I guess, I'm guessing they did that because they were losing money because people were buying soy milk instead of having very unhealthy mammalian estrogen-filled dairy. Yeah. Susan Kelly, anyone trying to lose weight should be mindful of fat content of those things. Yeah, you do want to keep your fats relatively low, I would say. And because fats should be kept low, I'd like to really emphasise chia and flax seeds. They must be ground, so you get the omega-3s. And some other nuts and seeds as well for adequate omega-6. So, yeah, I tend to not eat processed soy products so much, particularly on a cut. Well, someone else has done a super... Oh, that's Apple Joe again. Thank you. $5 Australian. I'm learning something. On the super chats, some people on Sturridge's channel call you Stench. Don't they call me Stench Fartivore, I heard. So here's another 5 Oscars. We all know me. He's a smelly breath. Give us your money. Thanks for giving me your money. That's really kind. Oh, Dankono's at it again. Why is everyone so lovely? I'll try soluble fibre first, then move to IBS by screening. Yeah, like you might be all right, and that test is expensive. Goji Man does it for cost, but you know, still not cheap. I'll tell you what though, in the UK, the National Health Service have recognised SIBO, and I think that I could probably, if I went there and just had the right symptoms, or said I had the symptoms and asked for the test, probably get it, I hope. I'll try, I said that. I'd rather take antibiotics than animal products. I don't abuse. Yeah, good for you, my friend. And actually, like, I cured my SIBO, or I think I've cured it, with not antibiotics, not like a harsh medicine, but 1 compound from berries, which is berberine, 1 compound from garlic, which is allicin, and grapeseed extract. I took these 3 things. I was doing 2 at one time. I'd sort of cycling through them. Apparently that's the way to do it, and I feel great. I'm really quite confident that I've cured my SIBO. Right. Oh, Lloyd Christmas, you lovely man, long time supporter. Actually, it's a fact that those on the plant-based diet have better. Yeah, that's true. We have a lot less like sulfur and sulfur container aminos. Yeah, I notice it like anything. Gemand, do you think starting lifting with repeating a 3-day split daily over and over would be beneficial or counterproductive? And do holidays remotivate to make some gains? You know, I was, and I know people are saying this is like antiquated or whatever, but I just love training once a week. But you have to really go hard to make that work. Oh, where's the question gone? So it all depends basically on intensity, like total intensity. Like you've got to take into account your frequency, like the intensity of each set, like how close you are to failure, you know, volume, amount of exercises. Basically, if everything's in balance, it'll work. And if you're going a bit too hard, like the way I kind of train, it would quickly be overtraining. So I'm not a fan of training that way. I don't know many bodybuilders who do, but a lot of people, supposedly the science is there and it's meant to be better. I'm not going to poo-poo it. I tried adding in more. I noticed like I was training 5 times a week, 5 on a bro split, and I noticed that my biceps, my rear delts, and my calves were lagging, and I tried to add them in on like another day, and just my strength in those muscles just went. But again, I'm training like high intensity. Like, you know, if you're training more frequently, then you need to moderate the intensity so that you're recovering in time, you know. So I don't know, really. It's suck it and see, but bear in mind intensity. Yeah, that's all I can really tell you. Babs Anderson, I'm well. How are you? Aidan Morgan, yeah, it's been some nice weather. I'm getting a bit of more of a tan. Straight edge vegan bell. How did you cycle through? Like, what tea did you take together? SIBO meds.
I think people are wanting to I think that same person maybe was asking before,
yeah,
can you just take the meds without doing the test?
I wouldn't take the meds without doing the test. I'd find out like what's wrong, and because, you know, you're killing bacteria with it, and although these are in the wrong place, they're good bacteria, so you don't want to add that in and then kill good bacteria in your colon. So I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. We need to really let our gut microbes flourish. We really do. But basically, and I hope you don't, you know, do this without finding out what's wrong. Goji Man would do his nut But yeah, I just started with 2 of them. Over time, took one out, put in the other one. Over time, took it out the second, put in the first one. Do you see what I mean? Just over the course. It's a few weeks, wasn't it? I can't remember how long. Yeah. Awesome A1 360. Who's psyched about the Game Changers trailer? It's in the film. It's in the film. It's worth waiting for. It's worth waiting for, I'll tell you that. It's going to be amazing. Oh, it's jumped. Seuss, Eric, is it good to eat these? So here's a load of stats and then an amount of produce. I can't tell you. I really can't tell you from just looking at things like that. There's so many variables. There's so many variables, and that would probably take me half an hour to work that all out, which I can't do during a live stream. Everyone will get bored. If you guys want any help with nutrition, or if you've got physique goals, workout plans, email me at henchherbivore@yahoo.co.uk. But just very quickly, just so I give you a bit of an answer, what you want to do is type all your stats into a total daily energy expenditure calculator, TDEE calculator. It'll ask for your age, height, weight, sex, how many times a week you train, that sort of thing, like energy expenditure. And then it'll tell you your maintenance calories. And then if you want to bulk, you add in a few. If you want to cut, you take out 250 to 500. And then obviously you need to hit your micronutrient requirements, chronometer for that, plug everything into there. And if you're bulking, did you say? I forget what you said. Well, if you're bulking, 1.6 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. If you're cutting, more like 2 grams will give you better muscle retention. That's what I do. Apple Jar, $2 Australian on the super chat. Thank you so much. Lastly, vegan YouTuber Herbie, Human Hancock, shout out. He's good, isn't he? Yeah, shout outs to Human Hancock. Do subscribe to his channel. He's doing great things, like a real clever undercover interview with Sverige. He managed to infiltrate his gang, pretended he was a carnivore eater, and he got a vegan burger and ate it on camera to prove he was not a vegan. And he's very easily duped, that Sverige. Very easily duped. Bless him. Jails in the house. Seuss is using chronometer already. Yeah, so, make sure you're just getting all your micronutrient needs. Watch out for your omega-3 and 6 as well. Don't bother getting the 6 to 100%. There's no need. That is just an arbitrary number based on a sick population of people who don't display omega-6 deficiency symptoms. But no one knows actually what the level requirement is, and it's so pro-inflammatory. So I just basically get a good amount of omega-3. I try to at least meet that in omega-6. If it's about double, I don't really mind too much. But you don't want it to be loads higher because it's pro-inflammatory. Yeah. Priya's enjoying your laugh in the background. Mike James, how to get rid of lower belly fat? It comes off everywhere equally. Sadly, we store more around the midsection, so it just takes longer. So, the way I'm doing it, whole foods, plant-based, smashing loads of veggies, eat as much as you want, but you just need to be in that caloric deficit, 250 to 500 calories. Poor old brain on this diet. Yeah, just need to be in that deficit, and it's just a matter of keep doing it until, you've lost it there. There's no such thing as spot reduction, so you just have to keep going, I'm afraid. I'm very sorry to say. French Blue, hi Paul, any worries with using CBD oil for a time and then suddenly not having it? I've not seen any data. I dare say if it was working well for you, you probably notice that those issues come back, be it anxiety or pain or whatever you were taking it for. I would imagine if they don't, then maybe it wasn't doing anything in the first place. But it's very powerful. I love this. I really swear by it. Basically, because I get it for free, I'm just taking the maximum dose that they recommend, and I love this stuff. I really love it. if I had to pay for this stuff, I'd probably think differently and just maybe do about half that. But luckily, I'm in that privileged position, and I love it. I really love it. I have it like 3 times a day, every day. Right, that's looking like there's that time. I need to go and eat something. What have we got? Sweet potato fries? Sweet potato chips? I think in American terms when I'm on here, I think that's because I'm worried there's American people on. But more of our audience is British, so I don't know why I'm doing that. Sweet potato chips.
Yeah.
Kale.
Kale, if you want.
Bean dip.
And a bean dip.
Oh, God, and some other veggies. Oh, God damn. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, guys, for the super chats. Help and support my work. That's really kind. That helps me to do this more and not to have to do other things, which I don't want to. They're not my life's purpose.
Thank you, moderators.
I was then going to get to that. Thank you, Ray Sleeber. Thank you, Twisted Hippie.
Yasmin's Conscious Kitchen is here.
Is she? Ah, Yasmin. I've not seen you for a while. Guys, thank you for joining. If you're new here, I'd love you to become part of the Hench Herbivore community, which you can do by hitting the subscribe button, clicking the bell icon so you're notified of new videos, new live streams, and video for you guys tomorrow. Who am I coaching? Yeah, I'm going to put the video live at 6 p.m. tomorrow. So it's a zero waste food haul because you guys kept telling me I'm using too much plastic. So thanks for that. I've had to do stuff. God damn it, I'm going now. Goodbye.